Hello everybody, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film from the European server. It's Einstein back into the hall with his Pz38nA. We're in Karelia, standard mode from the south spawn. There's 2 artillery apiece, 4 lights on the enemy team, 5 on his. And the enemy team's a lot of TDs, 5 TDs, 3 mediums, and only 1 heavy. His team, 2 TDs, 5 mediums, and only 1 heavy. So it's going to be mediums against TDs here with a lot of lights running around, mixing it up as well. Ever since they opened up that northwest corner of the map, it's always a one of the keys to the fight, whereas before it used to be always who wins the donut and the fight to the south. Now a lot of times the fight comes down to how many tanks go to the northwest corner and who prevails up there. So the overall way the game plays out has changed a little bit. In this case, hardly anybody's going south. He can't be happy with what he's seeing in terms of support here. Half his team is lodged right there in the middle, which is like the worst place to be on this map because he gets sniped from both sides of the map. And as you can see, without anybody behind him, he chooses not to rush forward. He's staying in the back under concealment, watching how many enemy tanks are coming this way and sniping. I don't know if you noticed that, 3 shots into KV-1S at under 300 meters and the guy doesn't see him. This tank has really good camo. Pz38nA's running straight up the middle. He dies. That was pretty much a suicide mission and kind of crazy to do. Now the T-34 is going up in the donut. I don't know if he's been paying attention to what Einstein has seen, but definitely overplaying his hand here. Oh, and there's a Hetzer up there too. Gets the fire, saving grace, man. That fire helped a lot. He still has to be careful because that Hetzer's just lurking up there waiting for them to poke around the corner. There's the other Hetzer out in the middle of the map. So he's going to pull out, completely reposition. You can see the Hetzer on the donut still paying attention to the south. Even though Dark Ninja's left, the Hetzer doesn't know that. The Lux doesn't know that. And so 2 tanks are being held up by 1 simply because they think there's more enemy there than really are. He's dropped back and is setting himself up for when those guys decide to move farther south. His team's making great progress on the northwest corner, but they still overly concentrated on the middle of the map, which isn't a good thing. Here comes the Lux. At this point, he could just run down there and chew the looks up, but he has to be cognizant of the fact that that Hetzer's on the way.
We didn't even scratch them. We didn't even scratch them. Critical hit. Enemy armor
There you go.
damaged. Critical hit. Enemy armor is damaged.
There goes the Hetzer. Now the looks is easy for him now. One shot kills the looks, and the looks can't kill him unless he somehow miraculously hits every possible round in his clip, and that's not going to happen. Goodbye, looks.
Penetration. Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. They killed our driver.
The Bishop almost caught him.
But not very well.
The splash kills his driver. 3 TDs and the artillery left. He has a view range advantage, but if these TDs are in good defensive positions, this is going to be a tough assault. He's trying to back anybody out of some positions he thinks the TDs might be hiding in. Things are getting a little worse. The Matilda dies. The twin Wolverines are just, that's going to be tough. He's behind a rock. There's no way to expose him without being seen yourself. There, now the other Wolverine's making a mistake and moving out into the middle himself.
Enemy is hit.
Really bad idea for him to do that. And he's going to pay the price here for doing it. Well, you think he is. Artillery didn't help. They had good shots at him and didn't hit. So he absolutely has to be able to see that Wolverine trying to go up the middle, so he's dropping back, trying to put himself in a position where he'll be able to see once he makes the move. already takes out the 76 Mike. It's kind of strange that the Bishop is moving up in advance of the Wolverines. Here comes the first Wolverine. Ouch, tough bounce. Bang. Now it's finally down to where he has a decent chance of pulling this out. The other Wolverine's trying to backdoor him. Probably why they took so long was they were waiting for that Wolverine to reposition. But the Wolverine in the middle kind of jumped the gun and it came too soon. He should have waited until the guy over here was closer and ready to fight. Now he's going to die. We know the Bishop's in the middle, so I think what I would do right here is go to the donut and try to spot the Bishop. Let's see how he plays it. He may just choose to go right down the middle directly. Oh, and there he is, looking the wrong way. He's dead. No chance in hell. And he ends the game by getting his 6th kill in a Top Gun. Totals are 1,867 damage, 6 kills, 35 of 50 shooting, that's 70%. He got 0 assisted damage, but 3 spots, lost 45,856 credits. This tank is definitely not a moneymaker. Survives the fight, gets a Top Gun and a high caliber, along with Bruiser, Arsonist, and Fire for Effect mini medals, and it gives him, with XP of 1,887, gives him a battle score of 1,952, 14th on the Pz38nA list. So, he started off going to the south, recognized right away that he didn't have the support he probably wished he had behind him. So instead of trying to make a play for the donut, he just stopped back here in a bush, spotted 2 tanks going up there. Eventually he had a couple tanks come over and help him, but they were each lighter vehicles, and it turns out he was going up against a light, a TD, and a heavy, so they didn't push around the corner. They just let those guys come to him. And ended up in a standoff after they killed the KV-1S with the Hetzer and another Lux. So he just vacated. He went back here thinking, well, they think we're here. That's all we need, is the fact that they're occupied with us potentially being here. So I'm going to come back and reposition, get set up for when they actually make their move. And he was ready. He had some help come over. They ended up, they should have lost the fight. The TDs didn't play very well together. And the first 2 TDs, the first 2 tanks kind of came in by themselves and got picked off. And when the Wolverines tried to coordinate their attack, their timing was off just a little bit. And that let him pick off both old Wolverines in basically one-on-one sniping type things. And he flanked the last one. So had they combined their attack a little bit better and charged in at the same time, especially if all 3 TDs had done it, they probably would have won the fight, but they weren't that coordinated. In the meantime, he has a nice little scout that may not be agile, but it's fairly fast, and it has a pretty good rate of fire on its weapon. And against Tier 5 scouts, or Tier 5 tanks overall, it's more than adequate to do the job, as you just saw. It's not in the scout line, it's in the medium line, it's in the T57 line. But if you want a challenge playing a scout that ends up being a really fun tank to play, it gets good MM, it gets a lot of Tier 4, Tier 5 matches, check out the Pz38nA. It's a really fun tank to play. It's never going to replace the Lux. It's a completely different play style than the Lux, but it's really fun to play if you like a little bit more traditional and more challenging scout play. From Karelia, Standard South. Eynsteyn showing off his PZ38NA. Happy hunting.